Good morning friends. In today's lecture, we'll discuss about cyclic subgroups. In last two lectures, we discussed about groups. What are the groups? What are the basic properties of a group? And we took certain example to understand the concept. So let's start with cyclic subgroups. So when we talk about cyclic subgroups, we observe that in the case of certain subgroups or groups, they completely depends upon only single element. For example, now let us take this particular subgroup 3z, which is a subgroup of set of integers with usual addition. Now here we can see that each of the element of this subgroup can be generated by a single element 3. So such type of subgroups or groups which can be generated by a single element are named as a cyclic subgroup. Before giving a formal definition of the cyclic subgroups, so we will first give a result, we will prove this particular result, and then we will move to the definition of the cyclic subgroups. So what is this result? This result says, let G be any group. And let A be the any element of the group G. Let A be the any element of the group G. Now we defined a subset of G as A raised to power M belongs to Z. So the first thing is that this A is subset of G. And this is trivial thing because we know that G is a group, and by the closure property it will all the combinations of the element A should be in the G. So the first thing is very clear that this set is a subset of G. Now what this particular set says, the first thing that this will form a subgroup of the G. The second thing, this subgroup is the smallest subgroup which contains the element A. Which contains the element A. So to prove that this is a subgroup, by using the theorem we proved in subgroups, what is required? So let H comma K belongs to this set. So to prove that this is a subgroup, we just require to prove that HK inverse belongs to this. Now since H and K belongs to this, what does it implies? H should be equal to A raised to power M1 and K should be equal to A raised to power M2 for some M1 comma M2 belongs to Z, because by definition of the set, this set. So what is the value of HK inverse? HK inverse will become A raised to power M1, A raised to power M2 with minus sign. So this is A raised to power M1, A raised to power minus M2, A raised to power M1 minus M2. Now, as M1 is an integer, M2 is an integer, so M1 minus M2 is also integer. So now let us write it A raised to power N, and we know that this A raised to power N belongs to this set, reason being N is equal to M1 minus M2 belongs to Z. So we prove that this particular element belongs to this set. So therefore, we prove that this set becomes a subgroup of the G. So the first thing is there, quite easy one. We just prove that we take the two elements H and K of the set and we prove that HK inverse belong to this particular set. The first part we prove that this forms a subgroup of G. Now the second thing which is important, which we want to prove that this subgroup is the smallest subgroup of G which contains the element A. Now let us suppose H is a subgroup of G such that A belongs to H. So we take H a subgroup of G and the element A belongs to H. Now, what type of element this particular set H will have? So in H, you must have the elements, say B1, B2 and so on. Now since A belongs to H and H is a subgroup, it means A raised to power 0, A raised to power 1, A raised to power 2, A raised to power 3. Similarly, you can write A raised to power minus 1, A raised to power minus 2, and all these elements should be available here. Because by closure property, if A belongs to H, its all combinations should be in H with respect to the binary operation. So from here, what we can see? What is this? This is this set. So from here we can see this is subset of H, and this is what we want to say. We want to say that this is a smaller subgroup containing the element A. So if we take any subgroup which contains the element A, we can prove that this particular subgroup is a subset of that subgroup. So now let's come to the definition. We prove the one result. Now if we see it carefully, what type of subgroup it is? Now this subgroup is generated by a single element. That single element is A. So these type of subgroups which are generated by a single element are named as cyclic subgroups. And this element A is named as generator of the subgroup. So here in this particular case, we are taking the binary operation as multiplication. That's why we are taking A raised to power m. So basically here this G is G dot. And if at the place of G dot we have G plus, then this will become MA. M belongs to Z. Or MA, you can write A plus A M times. So now we define, we give the definition of the cyclic group, cyclic subgroup. So cyclic subgroups are the subgroup which are generated by single element. That element is named as generator of that particular subgroup. And if somehow we get a group which is generated by a single element, then we say that that group is a cyclic group. Then we say that that group is a cyclic subgroup. For example, if we talk about the set of integers with plus sign, this is a group, we know that, and this group is generated by 1 only. We can generate this element group as 1, because if we take, if n belongs to Z, then this n can be written as n into 1, and here n is an integer. Now the next important definition, next important two definitions which we will discuss is the order of a group and order of an element. Order of a group. So the order of a group means number of elements in a group. So a group can be finite or infinite. If it is finite, then order of a group is, that is number of elements in a group. If it is infinite, then the order of the group, that group is infinity. The second important definition is order of element. So now let G be a group. Let's A belongs to G. Then the order of A represented as small a of A be a smallest positive integer n such that a raised to power n is equal to e. What is e? E is the identity of the G. Now again here we are considering this group with multiplication, with respect to multiplication. If it is with respect to addition, then this particular statement will be converted into n into a is equal to e. So the order of an element is the smallest positive integer n such that a raised to power n is equal to e. Now let us again come to the cyclic subgroups. Now let us consider like this. Let G be a group and A belongs to G, and we also know that order of A is n. It means n is the smallest positive integer such that a raised to power n is equal to e. Now what about a subgroup generated by A? That is cyclic subgroup generated by A. So by definition it should be equal to a raised to power m. M belongs to Z. So now let us try to put the values. So what it should be? It should be 1 a square, a cube, a raised to power n minus 1, and when we write a raised to power n, what it will become? A raised to power n is equal to identity. Identity is represented by 1 here. So a raised to power n is equal to 1. What about a raised to power n plus 1? This will be a raised to power n into a. It will be a. And similarly, so it means after a raised to power n minus 1, the elements go on repeating. So what is the finding here? The finding is the order of the subgroup A is equal to order of the element. It means the order of a cyclic subgroup is same as the order of its generator. So the order of a cyclic group is equal to order of its generator. Now we will discuss few basic results, important results of the cyclic subgroups. Then we will take certain examples to discuss about cyclic groups. So the first result is every cyclic subgroup oblique group is abelian. Is abelian. So how we'll prove it? To prove that it is abelian, what we want to prove that? So to start it with, now let us take G generated by A. Now to prove that it is abelian, what we will do? We will take any two element H comma K belongs to G. What is required to prove that? Required to prove that is HK is equal to KH. Now H and K belongs to G and G is a cyclic group generated by A. It means H and K must be written as the powers of A, because we know that this set is particularly A raised to power M belongs to Z. So what does it implies? So therefore H should be equal to A raised to power M1 and K should be equal to A raised to power M2 for some M1 comma M2 belong to the set of integers. So what is H into K? H into K will be A raised to power M1, A raised to power M2, which is equal to A raised to power M1 plus M2. And what is KH? KH will be A raised to power M2 dot A raised to power M1, which is equal to A raised to power M2 plus M1, which is basically A raised to power M1 plus M2. So from here we can see that HK is equal to KH. From here HK is equal to KH, and we prove that every cyclic subgroup is a abelian group. So the next result which we want to prove that if A is the generator of a cyclic group, then A inverse. A inverse means inverse of A is also generator. So what we want to prove that if G is generated by, what we want to prove that if G is equal to A, it means if G is a group which is generated by A, then G is also equal to A minus 1. How we can prove it? It's just the simple definition. Now G is equal to A, what that means? A can be written as A raised to power M. M belongs to integers. And this can be written as A minus M. We can write it like this. Now we can write it like A raised to power minus 1 raised to power N. Here n is equal to minus m. Since m is integer, therefore minus m is also integer. This belongs to Z. And what does it implies? It is generated by A raised to power minus 1. So if we have a group which is generated by A, then that group can also be generated by the inverse of the A. Inverse element of the A. Now, The next result is very important. It says that every subgroup of a cyclic group is cyclic. Every subgroup of a cyclic group is cyclic. So let's prove it. So what is the theorem? Every subgroup of a cyclic group is cyclic. So what do you want to prove that? We are taking let G generated by A means cyclic group. Let H is a subgroup of G. Now what is required to prove? Required to prove is H is a cyclic subgroup. ये हमें प्रूव करना है कि G कोई भी एक साइक्लिक ग्रुप है और H उसका कोई भी सब ग्रुप है, तो H कैसा होना चाहिए? साइक्लिक सब ग्रुप होना चाहिए. Now when we talk about the subgroups, now H may be a trivial subgroup or H may be a non-trivial subgroup. If H is a trivial subgroup means if H is equal to this just identity element or G, nothing to prove. Why? Because we know that these two are cyclic subgroups. G itself is a cyclic group and single identity element, so it can be generated by E itself, so it is also a cyclic subgroup. Now let us take Hj non-trivial subgroup of G. It means H is not equal to G or H is not equal to the set containing identity element only. Done. So let's remove it and then we will write. So that you can. So let H belongs to H. Now what we want to prove that? We want to prove that this capital H is a cyclic group. So what we want to prove that? We want to prove that each element of it can be generated by a single element. Now, okay. Now H belongs to H and it is a subset of G, even proper subset of G, and G generated by A. So what does it mean? It means this implies H belongs to generator of A. So this implies H should be equal to A raised to power n for some n belongs to Z. Now we are claiming that we can first assume that this n is greater than 0. We can assume because we have just proved that if A is a generator, A inverse is also generator. So we can take n is greater than 0. Now, by using well ordering principle, let m be the least positive integer such that A raised to power m belongs to H. What is well ordering principle? in our first chapter, I think second chapter, we proved that if we have a non-empty set of natural numbers, then that set must have a least element. So we have proved that there is one n which is greater than 0 such that a raised to power n belongs to h. So we apply the value ordering principle and we say that there must be a number m which is least positive integer such that a raised to power m belongs to h. Now we claim that this h is generated by a raised to power m. Now we claim that this h is generated by a raised to power m. To prove that this h is generated by a raised to power m, what we have to prove that? We have to take any element of h and we have to prove that that element can be written as the power of a raised to power m. So, for instance, we can write g equal to a raised to power m. So, what we want to prove that? This h is generated by g. So, now let us take h naught belongs to h. H naught is any other element which belongs to h. Now what we want to prove that this h naught can be written as the power of g or power of a raised to power m. Again this h is a subset of g which is generated by a. So this h naught must be equal to a raised to power k for some k belongs to z. Again we take that we have first take h naught, any arbitrary element of h. Since h is a subset of g and g generated by the element a, it means this h naught can be written as a raised to power k. But we know that m is the least positive integer such that a raised to power m belongs to h. So by division algorithm, if we divide m is the least positive integer, if we divide this k with m, what will happen? K can be written as mq plus r. And this r must be greater than equal to 0 and less than m. This m must be greater than equal to 0. This r should be greater than equal to 0 and less than m. This is division algorithm. What we are doing? We are dividing k with m. So q will be the quotient and r will be the remainder. So now what is the value of a raised to power k, which is basically h naught? This will be a raised to power mq plus r, which will be a raised to power m q a raised to power r. Now what is a raised to power m q raised to power r? So what is this a raised to power m? This a raised to power m is, we write it as g. So it means it is g raised to power q into a raised to power r. So from here, what is the value of a raised to power r? A raised to power r is equal to h naught g raised to power minus q. A raised to power r is h naught g raised to power minus q. Now, this g raised to power minus q and h naught, Now we know that this h naught belongs to h. We have taken this h naught belongs to h. And we also know that this G belongs to H. And H is a subgroup also. So what does it means? It means that A raised to power R must belongs to H. Because H is a subgroup, H naught belongs to H, G raised belongs to H. It means this combination should also belongs to H. Because H is a subgroup. Now it means, but R is less than M. But we know that M is the least positive integer such that A raised to power M belongs to H. But M is the least number such that A raised to power M belongs to H. Means M सबसे छोटा नंबर है जिसके लिए A raised to power M इसको बिलोंग करता है H को. बट यहां तो ये R किससे छोटा है? M से छोटा है. और हमने क्या ऑब्जर्वेशन मिल गया हमें कि ये A raised to power R किसके इक्वल है? किसको बिलोंग कर रहा है? H को बिलोंग कर रहा है. Which is not possible. So what does it implies? It implies R must be equal to 0. अब यदि R 0 हो गया तो इसका मतलब क्या हो गया? H naught किसके इक्वल हो गया? A raised to power K and this K. Now R is 0. This is equal to A raised to power MQ, which is A raised to power M raised to power Q, which is G raised to power Q. So we have taken an arbitrary element H naught and we prove that this can be written as G raised to power Q. So it means H is generated by G and G is basically equal to A raised to power M. M is the least positive integer. So we prove that H is a cyclic subgroup. So let's revise it because it is lengthy one. So let's conclude the things and then we'll move to the few examples. So what is the problem? We want to prove that every subgroup of a cyclic group is cyclic. So we take G is equal to, we first consider G as a cyclic group. Then we say H is a subgroup of G. And if it is a trivial subgroup, then nothing to prove that because G itself is a cyclic group, it is given. And if we take just identity element, that will form a cyclic subgroup. So let us take H is a proper subset of G. Now we want to prove that this H is a cyclic subgroup of G. So what we will do, the first thing we have done, we take certain H belongs to H. And we know that this H is a subset of and G generated by A. So what we can do? We can write it H equal to A raised to power N. And here N is belongs to Z. So from here we conclude that the element of capital H can be written as in the terms of the powers of A. Now the second thing, now we apply the Bell ordering principle. Because if we write all the elements of H in the powers of N, we will get the sequence of the integers. And moreover, we can take this N greater than 0 because we know that if A is the generator, A inverse is also generator. So we consider that N is greater than 0. Now by Bell ordering principle says we get a smallest positive integer M such that A raised to power M belongs to H. Now we claim that this H is generated by A raised to power M, or you could say if A raised to power M is equal to G, then this H is generated by G. So then what we done? We take element H naught. Again H naught is also element of G. It can be written as A raised to power K. Here K is an integer. Then we apply the division algorithm. Now by using the division algorithm, if we divide K with M, because M is the least positive integer, then K must be equal to MQ plus R, and here R must be greater than equal to 0 and less than M. So what does it implies? H naught equal to A raised to power K should be equal to A MQ plus R. So this is simple computation, and from here we find the value of A raised to power R. This is the A raised to power R. So here from here we know that now H naught belongs to H. This G is also element of H. So this whole combination must be the element of capital H. So a raised to power R belongs to H. But R is less than M, and we already take M is the least positive integer. So it means what does it mean? It means that R must be equal to 0. If R is 0, then H naught, which is a raised to power k, comes to G raised to power q. It means H is generated by G. So now, in the next 10 minutes, we will see how we can find the generators of a cyclic subgroup or cyclic group. What is the procedure to find the generators? So to find the generators, we have a result. We will not prove it, but we will use this result. This result says, if G is a cyclic group generated by A of order n, then A raised to power m is a generator of G if greatest common divisor of m comma n is equal to 1. So G is a cyclic group of order n, or you can say the order of the element of A is also n. Then A raised to power m is the generator if the greatest common divisor of m comma n is equal to 1. Now let us take a problem. Example. Now let us take, you have a cyclic group which is generated by A, and the order of G is equal to 8. Order of G is 8. Now tell me, what are the generators of A? So first thing, the order of this set G is equal to 8, and we also know that the order of a cyclic group is equal to the order of its generator. So it must be the order of A also. So what is G basically? G is A raised to power 0, A raised to power 1, A raised to power 2, 3, up to A raised to power 7. 8 elements. After this, the elements will start repeating. So now we know the only one generator, that is A. What are the other generators of this? So by using this particular jet, A raised to power m is generator if m and n are co-primes. Their greatest common divisor is equal to 1. So here the order is 8. Now we know that 8 and 2, their greatest common divisor will be equal to, we can find it not equal to 1. What is the greatest common divisor of 8 and 3? It will be 1. So A cube is the generator. So from here, G which is generated by A can also be generated by A cube. Again, if we take A raised to power 4, greatest common divisor of 4 and 8 is not equal to 1. But greatest common divisor of 8 and 5, this is 1. So we get another generator that is equal to A raised to power 5. Again 6, the greatest common divisor of 6 and 8 is not equal to 1. So A raised to power 6 cannot be generator. But the greatest common divisor of 8 comma 7, this is equal to 1. So it can also be generated by A raised to power 7. So the cyclic group which is generated by A can also be generated by A raised to power 3, A raised to power 5 and A raised to power 7. What is the technique? We have to just find the greatest common divisors of m comma n or n comma m, whatever you want to write. So 8 is the order of this group. तो हमने क्या किया? We find the greatest common divisor of 8 with respect to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and wherever it comes equal to 1, that particular will become the generator. Now the last example and the important one also. Now let us take U7. If you remind, U7 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Module 7. Module 7. We know that this particular. Now, what do you want to prove that? Ki, what are the generators? First thing, we have to prove that it is a cyclic group, and we have to find the generators also. So, to find the generator, what we will do? We will use the result, the order of the set A of the group generated by A is equal to the order of its element. We know that the order of U7 is equal to 6. And we also know that 1 is the identity element. We already draw the composite table for U7 and we prove that this U7 is a group. This part we have already done. So we'll just prove that it is a cyclic subgroup. To prove that it is a cyclic subgroup, what we have to do? We have to find one element whose order is equal to 6. And the order of element is the least positive integer n such that a raised to power m is equal to 1. So what I will do, I am writing the integer. 1 is the identity, no need to write it. We will find 2 raised to power 1, 2 raised to power 2, 2 raised to power 3, 2 raised to power 4, 2 raised to power 5 and 2 raised to power 6. And let us try to write these elements. Now what is 2 raised to power 1? It is 2. 2 raised to power 2? 4. 2 raised to power 3? 8. 8 with respect to module 7. It will be equal to 1. What is 2 raised to power 4? 2 raised to power 4 is 16. 16 module 7. It comes to be again 2. 2 raised to power 5. 2 raised to power 5 is 32. With respect to 7. 7 4 is 28. So the 4 is the element. 2 raised to power 6. 64. So if we write 64 with respect to 7, 7 8 56 and 7 9 so it comes to be 49. So 2 raised to power 6 is 64. 56. 7 9 is 63. So it comes to be 1. So from here what we observe that all the elements of this particular set cannot be generated with the help of 2, because here is the element 3, we does not find 3. Here is the element 5, we does not 5 get the 5. So 2 cannot be generated of it. Now let us find 3 raised to power 1, 3 raised to power 2, 3 raised to power 3, 3 raised to power 4, 3 raised to power 5, 3 raised to power 6. So 3 raised to power 1, 3. 3 raised to power 2, 9. 9 with respect to module 7 will be equal to 2. 27. 27 comes to be 6. Then 3 raised to power 4 comes to be 4, it comes to be 5, and it comes to be 1. You can check it easily. So, from here, what we find that? We find that this u raised to power 7 can be written as 3 raised to power 0, 3 raised to power 6, 1 is 3 raised to power 6, 2 is 3 square, 3 is 3 raised to power 1, 4 is 3 raised to power 4, 5 is 3 raised to power 5, and 6 is 3 raised to power 3. So what does it mean? It means that u raised to power 7 is generated by 3. U raised to power 7 is generated by 3. Now what we want to find? We prove that this u raised to power u7 is cyclic group generated by the element 3. Now we want to find all of its generators. What are the other generators of it? So, to find all the generators, what we will do? We know that order of this particular set is equal to 6. So, we will use this particular theorem. A raised to power m is a generator if m comma n is the GCD of m comma n is 1. So, now let us see. If we talk about 6, GCD of 2 comma 6 not equal to 1, GCD of 3 comma 6 not equal to 1, GCD of 4 comma 6 not equal to 1, greatest common divisor of 5 comma 6, yes, it is equal to 1, greatest common divisor of 6 comma 6 not equal to 1. So, one generator is 3, the other generator will be 3 raised to power 5. So, here what we have done? First, we prove that it is a cyclic group. To prove that it is cyclic group, we write each element of this group with the help of 3. To find all the generators, we use this particular theorem. Here, m is equal to 6. The number of elements in this particular set is 6. So, 6, we find the GCD of 6 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it comes, in the case of 5, it comes to be equal to 1. So 3 raised to power 5 will be the another generator. And what is the value of 3 raised to power 5? 3 raised to power 5 is equal to 5. So one generator is 3, another generator is 5. So it's all for today lecture. Thank you.